This is Devin with Writing Daily. This is our 89th episode. 89 episodes where we've talked about writing and writing support and help for writers and encouragement and inspiration and tools and all kinds of things. So hopefully you are loving it. This is Devin Galladay. As always, I'm the editor-in-chief of In the Know Traveler and the author of the forthcoming memoir, 10,000 Miles with My Dead Father's Ashes. And every day I try to deliver some sort of help. If you like what I'm doing, please consider hitting the like button and take a few minutes to join us. Anyway, so today we are doing something that is kind of more philosophy-based because, you know, I want to share a story with you that I think it was a couple months ago. I was sitting in an audience with my wife, and there was a guy, a pretty famous guy, who was talking about his expertise. I kind of want to give his name out, but I don't see any real value in that. But so what he did is there were a couple points throughout his presentation where he quite literally said, "I deserve a standing ovation. Give me a standing ovation." Every time he did that, I sat on my hands and I respected him less. And so one of the things that I hear happening with some writers is they talk about this idea that by finishing their book, they're waiting to get accolades. They want good reviews. They want all these things that will help sort of prop up their writing. And it's more of kind of like, how do I describe it? Is that I write because I have a story to share. I have something to tell. And these are the important stories. These are the things that are meaningful to me that I have to reach out, and hopefully people will identify and want to understand and appreciate. And good afternoon, Bruce. Thanks for being here. And so what I also see a lot of writers do is that they don't think their work is good unless they start receiving accolades for their work from other people. In other words, they're looking to build self-esteem through the use of some other person. And so writing a book, if I write the right book, then people are going to applaud my book. And if they applaud my book, then they're going to be applauding me, and that will fix the thing. I'm here to tell you that is totally not the case. I've spoken to far too many writers who have had success, and they end up having the same sort of doubt and confusion and other things that pretty much every single other person in the universe does. I personally, I wrote this book, 10,000 Miles with My Dead Father's Ashes, because it was a story that I needed to tell. It was something that when I kind of thought about a skinny, pimply-faced kid being raised by parents similar to my own, then that was sort of like, okay, this is why I kind of need to keep reading this book keep writing this book, because there's going to be somebody out there who may not be hearing my story as this exact same as theirs, but they need to know that it's going to be okay. They need to know that there's dark humor and we can laugh at ourselves and we can do this stuff. And I think it's really important to embrace that. And for me, the validation comes in me putting forth my best effort to doing the job. And I think this holds true for any action or any activity that you're going to do, is that you go out and do the best job that you can because you're capable of doing a best job. You're capable of doing the thing that is the meaningful work for you. The writing of the book for me is a meaningful thing. And so that within itself, so there's a part of me, and this is also true, like I had a buddy ask me about, about writing and, oh, you shouldn't, why aren't you going to read your reviews? Because at some point, that's not why I did the thing. Like, don't get me wrong. I want 1 million people to leave reviews. I think it's important for marketing. Like, part of what I'm doing right now is part of that marketing effort. But at the same point, my goal is to be reaching people who I can be of service to, rather than reaching out to people so I can receive a bunch of accolades with the hope that I'm going to feel better about my writing or justify why I'm doing X or Y or Z. And that could be anything from keeping a good garden. It can be, keeping, my life in order, whatever it is. So, by the way, if you like what I'm doing, please consider hitting the like button right now. Feel free to leave a comment And welcome, Lincoln. It's good to have you here. And, we keep writing because it's something that we need to do. And by the way, like in short form, especially like magazine articles, I think you're going to find more often than not that people are not necessarily writing for their soul. Like I write travel articles because it's my passion. I'm genuinely passionate about promoting travel to the world at large. I think we all need passports. And at the same time, sometimes I would have to write articles that I wasn't necessarily passionate about because it needs to be done. It's part of the arrangement that I made. It's part of the negotiation. But to be clear, as a writer, I focused on completing the task. But for the long form stuff, I'm talking about memoir, I'm talking about, like putting together a short story collection, I'm talking about writing your novel or your series of essays, whatever it may be. I think that you don't do that to get an attaboy or an attagirl. I don't think you do those things to get a clap on the back. I think you do them because you wake up in the middle of the night and like you have to tell this story. You have to tell your truth, and you have to do it even though it makes you look bad, even though it's painful, even though people around you may go, what? You shouldn't be doing that. You're a jerk face. And that's kind of what my story is right today. But that said, the trains left the station. It was the story that needed to be told. And I recommend that you guys do that too. I think you really kind of have to hold yourself to a standard that is going to be meaningful for you. I think you have to do that because that's where your self-esteem comes. I think self-esteem comes from your esteemable action, not somebody else's esteemable action, not having a feel-good moment because somebody else did something that pats you on the back. And so anyway, Caitlin, good to see you. I hope that you're great. And so anyway, I think we'll probably have a little bit of a short one today. So that's what I've got for today. Don't fill your void by trying to get other people to give you accolades because you wrote a great sentence or a great work or a great short story or something like that. Do it because you were of really wonderful service to your readers, that you entertained them or you inspired them or you gave them hope. I think those are the things where you're really going to get esteemable action. And more importantly, if somebody does write you some wonderful fan letter, you don't have to run around and tell everybody how fantastic you are because the people who love you already know that. So anyway, be kind to yourself. That's what I've got for today. Caitlin, I'm so glad that I might be able to support whatever your vision is today. And that's what I've got. So thanks for joining me. I hope you guys join me tomorrow because writing daily is a daily activity. And that's what I've got for today. Thanks so much for being here.